The invitation arrived on a Tuesday morning, slipped between unpaid bills and grocery coupons, its glossy paper too bright for the dim kitchen where Maya Rios sat staring at her coffee. The words Westbridge High School, 10-year reunion, gleamed like a dare. Her name was written neatly on the envelope, almost carefully, as if whoever had penned it wanted to make sure it reached her. Maya didn't need to open it to know why it had been sent. Some memories never dulled. They waited, patient and sharp, ready to cut again. For a long moment, she considered tossing it straight into the trash. That would have been the safer choice. Westbridge High had not been kind to her. In those hallways, she had learned early how silence could be louder than insults, how laughter could bruise deeper than fists, She had been the girl who wore the same hoodie every winter, the one teachers forgot to call on, the one classmates remembered only when they needed a punchline. The class loser, the words still echoed, even now. She opened the envelope anyway. Inside was a smiling card full of cheerful fonts and forced nostalgia. Come relive the memories. It read, reconnect with old friends. At the bottom, in smaller print, was the date, the venue, and a line that made her jaw tighten. We can't wait to see where everyone ended up. Maya let out a soft, humorless laugh. She knew exactly who had organized this. Ava Langford never forgot a face or a weakness. Maya folded the invitation carefully and set it aside. Her coffee had gone cold, but she drank it anyway. She had learned long ago not to waste things. So, 10 years earlier, Maya Rios had arrived at Westbridge High with a scholarship, a hand-me-down backpack, and the naive hope that things might finally be different. Her father had died the year before, leaving her mother, Rosa, to work double shifts at a diner just to keep the lights on. Maya studied hard, kept her head down, and dreamed quietly of a future far away from lockers and laughter that wasn't meant to be shared. The first day of sophomore year, she had tripped in the hallway, spilling her books at the feet of Ava Langford and her friends. Viva looked down at her, lips curling into a smile that was all teeth and no warmth. Careful, Ava had said loudly. You might hurt someone with all that ambition. The laughter had followed Maya for years. There was Derek Moore, the Golden Boy quarterback, who pretended not to see her. Lila Chen, who sat beside her in chemistry, but never said a word unless the teacher called on them. And there were others. Faces that blurred together into one long memory of whispers, notes passed behind her back, group chats she was never invited into but always mentioned in. The worst had been senior year. Kutula. Maya had worked for months on a robotics project, staying late in the lab, soldering wires with hands that shook from exhaustion. It was the first time she'd felt truly proud of something. When the judges announced her team had won regionals, she had looked out into the crowd, searching for her mother's face. Instead, she saw Ava laughing. The next day, Maya found her project destroyed. Wires cut, components missing. No one was caught. No one apologized. The teacher shrugged helplessly. These things happen, he'd said. Maya learned then how easy it was for effort to disappear without a trace. By graduation, she was invisible again. Now, 10 years later, Maya stood in a glass-walled office overlooking the city, the invitation still folded in her pocket. Below her, traffic moved like blood through veins of concrete. The hum of innovation surrounded her, soft clicks of keyboards, low conversations in half a dozen languages. This was her world now. Are you going? Asked Jonah Patel, leaning against her desk with a grin. Jonah was her coup, her right hand, and one of the few people who knew her full story. Maya exhaled slowly. They didn't invite me because they miss me. Jonah raised an eyebrow. That's their loss. You don't owe them anything. She knew that. Intellectually, she knew it. But something about the invitation had stirred a restless ache in her chest. Not anger, not fear. Something unfinished. Unfinished. I used to imagine what it would be like, she said quietly, if I ever saw them again. And? Will you imagine being invisible or being hurt all over again? She paused. But I never imagined this. Jonah smiled. Then maybe you should go. Not for them. For you. Maya looked back out the window. 10 years ago, she had been a scholarship kid with a broken project and a tired mother. Now, she was the founder and CEO of Helix Dynamics, a tech firm that specialized in autonomous emergency transport. Her designs were being tested by hospitals across the country. She had patents. She had a team. She had built something no one could take from her. Slowly, she reached into her pocket and unfolded the invitation. I'll go, she said. The reunion was held at the Westbridge Country Club, a place Maya had only ever seen from the outside as a teenager. The building glowed with soft lights, expensive and inviting. Luxury cars lined the driveway, polished to perfection. Laughter drifted out through open doors, warm and familiar. Inside, Ava Langford adjusted her dress and scanned the room with practiced ease. She had always been good at this, curating moments, controlling narratives. The reunion was her idea, of course. A chance to remind everyone who still mattered. Did you invite her? Derek asked, sipping his drink. Ava smiled. Of course, wouldn't be a reunion without everyone. Lila Chen frowned slightly. You really think she'll come? Ava shrugged. If she does, it'll be entertaining. If she doesn't, well, same difference. They laughed. The music swelled. Old photos played on a screen near the bar, frozen smiles from a decade ago. Minutes passed, then an hour. And then, just as Ava was beginning to relax, a distant thudding sound cut through the music. Oh, what's that? Someone asked. The sound grew louder, rhythmic, unmistakable. Ava's smile faltered. Outside, guests turned toward the windows as a shadow swept over the lawn. Glasses trembled on tables, dissembled on tables. Conversations died mid-sentence. A helicopter descended gracefully onto the open field beside the club, its blades slicing the air with controlled power. The doors slid open, and out stepped Maya Rios. She wore a simple black dress, elegant without trying. Her hair was pulled back neatly, her posture calm and steady. She did not rush. She did not hesitate. She walked forward as if she belonged there, because she did. Silence followed her inside. Ava stared, frozen. Derek's drink slipped from his hand, shattering on the floor. Lila's eyes widened, something like recognition and regret flickering across her face. Maya met their gazes without flinching. Hi, she said softly. Whispers erupted as Maya moved through the room. People glanced at her, then at each other, trying to reconcile memory with reality. The class loser didn't arrive by helicopter. The invisible girl didn't command a room without saying a word. Ava recovered first. She always did. Plastering on a smile, she approached Maya, arms open in a mock embrace. Beat it. Wow, what an entrance. Maya stepped back slightly, her expression polite. I was in the area. Jonah appeared beside her, offering a reassuring nod. We should mingle, he murmured. Ape, he murmured. Maya nodded, then looked back at Ava. I'll thank you for the invitation. The words were simple, but Ava heard something beneath them. Something unshakable. As the night unfolded, Maya spoke with old classmates, some awkward, some genuinely curious. There were apologies, halting and imperfect. There were confessions. One man admitted he'd laughed just to fit in. A woman admitted she'd wanted to be her friend, but had been afraid. The hardest conversation came with Lila Chen. I should have said something, Lila whispered, eyes shining. I'm sorry. Maya studied her face, the fear and sincerity etched there. I know, she said, and she meant it. Later, Ava cornered her near the balcony. So, Ava said, voice tight, what do you do now? Maya smiled faintly. I build things. I help people get where they need to be. Ava scoffed. Savaru. Is this some kind of revenge? Maya shook her head. I know. This is just my life. The truth hit harder than any insult ever could. As the night drew to a close, Maya stepped outside, the cool air calming her racing thoughts. The helicopter waited silently, lights glowing. Jonah joined her. You okay? Fight. She nodded, surprised to realize it was true. I am. Inside, laughter resumed, but it sounded different now. Smaller, less certain. Maya took one last look at the building where she had once felt so small. I used to think winning meant proving them wrong, she said quietly. But it doesn't. Jonah smiled. Then what does? She looked up at the stars, steady and bright. It means proving myself right. The helicopter lifted into the night, carrying Maya Rios forward, not away from her past, but beyond it. And back at Westbridge, long after the lights dimmed and the music faded, one truth lingered heavier than the silence she had once endured. The girl they had mocked had not disappeared. She had risen. In the end, Maya didn't change who she was to be accepted. She became who she was meant to be, and that was more powerful than any apology, any reunion, or any attempt to rewrite the past.